Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is June 19, 2018. It's 12:50 a.m. Birmingham. And topic, I'm continuing my rant, but I've got more additional information. Let me first let you hear entirety. It's not a little over 2 minutes of Waters' Word. I called it Waters' World, and I've always called it Waters' World because he seems like he's in his own. But he's Fox News, and listen to what he says. He is pissed about Bill Maher. So listen to him right here, just a couple months, okay?
Waters' words. Political parties usually root against each other. When one party fails, the other returns to power. But the Democrats have invested so much in Trump's failure that they're now rooting for America to fail, just so Trump takes a hit. Here's Bill Maher.
I feel like the bottom has to fall out at some point. And by the way, I'm hoping for it because I think one way you get rid of Trump is a crashing economy. So please bring on the recession. Sorry if that hurts people, but it's either root for a recession or you lose your democracy.
So Bill Maher wants Americans to lose their jobs and lose their money so the president's approval rating goes down? That's sick. It's easy for Maher to root for the economy to crash because he's sitting on millions. But at least he's honest. Most Democrats disguise their lack of patriotism. Pelosi is another one.
Hip hip hooray, unemployment is down. What does that mean to me in my life?
Keep talking, Nancy. You're costing the Democrats dearly. And after Trump returned from Singapore, securing a strong commitment to peace, the media attacked progress on the peninsula.
A summit is not an accomplishment for the American president, Brian. It is a major accomplishment for Kim Jong-un.
Something else that our own Keir Simmons reported today and shared with us at 4 p.m. is that both men are liars. He said Kim Jong-un lies, and he said Donald Trump lies.
This is not a date. This is not going to work. This is not just lunch. It's not going to work.
I thought the Democrats were all about dialogue and giving peace a chance. Guess not. But the worst was Chelsea Handler, who uncorked this whopper. Ready? Putin is giving Trump talking points and actions to take to help undermine the very country he is from. We have a domestic enemy running our country, pissing on all allies who shows fealty only to Putin. This is not America. This is Russia. And then, I hope Kim Jong-un eats Donald Trump. So we have the left calling the President of the United States a domestic enemy, comparing him to a murderous dictator, and rooting against peace just because Trump is the peacemaker.
There you go. This is what we know is happening and going on every day. And what you hear if you were to go to CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, this is all they talk about. As I told you earlier, they already want Korea to fail. It's not God's plan. Trump wouldn't have gone if God had other plans. He's not going to play with a country and offer them a chance to come out of the darkness and then pull back and say, just kidding. That's not God's way. And we know by 2 Chronicles 7:14 why Trump is here. And we know the answer to that prayer if you go to 2 Chronicles 14:7. Talks about building walls, strengthening your country, your village. So what we have now going on in the United States, you have these people that have been identified by God. They were pulled to the surface by God. Who else could do it? Really, who else could do it? Look, Donald Trump is untouchable. God's not going to let anyone harm him. You know that he would have already been gone, just like they took out John Kennedy. But they can't. They can't. God won't let them do it. God is Donald Trump's protector, and as long as God put him in place and has things for him to do, then he's going to get them done. And that is keeping the United States from falling now. One day it'll get just like Water's words. The whole country will get like that. First, there will be many of those on the left will do an about face. They will. And they'll do it for two reasons. And you see what I'm saying now. Look down the road and see if I'm not telling you the truth. Number one, their life and their family's life is much better off than it was. And number two, God is going to have a chat with them. Really. I mean, people have dreams all the time. And if you have a dream or a vision and it wakes you up at night and it's a nightmare, then you're going to do something about that if you can. So God will expose to them the truth of what they're doing and the danger of how they're doing it and the danger to their souls if they continue that path. I know people who has told me that they were rattled during the night and brought out of bed, and I can sit and tell you some horror tales. Well, but what we have now, we have this cream of their crop of the Illuminati brought to the surface. They're going to be forced to fall on the sword, and we know that. They're going to be the martyrs. Well, they think they're going to be martyrs. In fact, they're going to be offered up. Sacrificed is a better word, because they're not going to bring down the Illuminati. Before they get there, this is why they plead the fifth. If any one of them really talks, and if any one of them really gets to the Illuminati, that person will die. And I'd rather die than lose my salvation or than not get salvation. Before I die, and like they say, if they sever your head, you still have 20 seconds, 30 seconds that you have a clear thinking mind. And you better bet you're going to see a whole lot of wrong flash before your eyes during that time. And your brain is going to call out to God, but I'm not sure your heart's going to be in it, since they're not going to be too connected. But these who are coming to the surface, they're being forced to the surface, and God is doing it. If God can tell us in the Bible that they will hide in the rocks and in the mountains and throw their gold and silver in the streets because it won't fit in those holes with them, and then he will cause the mountains to fall off of them and expose them. Read that. That's what's going to happen. And here we have a group of people that's trying to hide in the sewers, but God forced them to the surface. And this is what you see. But you have those over here, it's like an audience that's rooting for the bad guys. Well, they're also been forced to stand up and tell the world who they are, because we see them. We know who they are every day. We hear them. There's $1 trillion. I have been hearing this for 25 years. $1 trillion off the top has gone to the black ops or to the dark government. $1 trillion that you never know of. The Illuminati, during World War II, you had part of them starting the wars, and you had another part of them selling the weapons to keep the wars going. So they're making money at both ends. They made $1 trillion in World War II, the Illuminati. The same people that has like a board game that you and I sit on, the United States, and all other countries sit on that board game. And they just pick the ones they want to fall and the ones they want to rise up. Don't you think for a moment that they picked the United States to be the next power. They did not. They were picking China to be the next power, except God had a different opinion about that. He changed it around, and it came quickly. That's what I said earlier. God's timing, he can make it go quick, or he can make it lag on. The Jews wandered in the desert 40 years on a trip they could have made in one. And North Korea is going to progress so quickly that what would take them 30 years to do may take them only 1 or 2. And we will see that. So timing's everything. But it's only God's timing. So write down Waters' word from any Trump to any American. This is what it is. They're going, they hate Trump. Now they hate you because you stand with Trump. That's okay. I can deal with that. And Fox News channel, and this particular broadcast was on June 16, and it was on Saturday. Go back and look at it, and you'll find a 3-minute clip. And he's not all. There's others that were really ticked, and they were all discussing it, all channels on the Fox lineup. None of the others bothered to even mention it. None of them. So you see today that God is bringing those to the surface that can no longer hide, and they will attempt to hide again, but some of them will have a change of heart and come and finally stop what they're doing, but some of them won't. Some of them will still take the money and go hide, but God will cause those rocks to fall away from them. And I'm talking about these rich people that built bunkers in the ground. It's going to pop open like a sardine can. They'll be exposed. And you see an early excerpt of that happening today. They're being exposed. All those who have been hurting us for the last umpteen years, God finally said, stop, over. So he's going to do something about it. And it's going to benefit you and I. And we're going to have a much better place to live in. And the only reason I'm ranting like this is because I hate what Bill Maher said, wishing that this country would go into a depression just to have a hit on Donald Trump. That's a horrible, horrible thing for a man to even look. God knows your thoughts. And if you think that, then obviously you're not saved. Obviously you have no part of Christ in your background. That's going to hurt one day, really bad. Guys, just know who your enemy is. Know who your Savior is too. John 3:16. Jesus said it. He said, look, no man comes to the Father but by me. Clearly, he said, no one can see, none of you can see God ever. He said, you got to go through me to do that. It's easy. 5-second job, and you're delivered. Don't be like the rest of them. Don't wish this country down because of one person. Did we wish this country down because of Obama? No, because we were too brainwashed to believe that he would actually do that. And what hit me the hardest was when he signed Agenda 21. I said, oh my God, this man is a fraud. He is a liar. And that's when I started doing a background check myself. Found out that he was gay. I didn't even know who the guy was. We have pictures of him. And his wife, Michael. So guys, right now you have an opportunity to rise above this mess and stay above it. Stay away from those who mislead you and lie to you. This thing about trying to keep children and divide children and families, that's lying. That's lying through their teeth. But they want you to get mad. They want more people to get mad and go against Trump. They're lying through their teeth. So wake up, and rapture literally could be tonight. It really could. If enough happens, even God said this, when Ezekiel 38-39 war took place, he said, my fury is thrown up in my face. God said that. So he had a quick reaction, and it was over in 1 hour. The entire war lasted 1 hour, or will last 1 hour. But you know what? When that happens, we won't be here. We will have already been gone. Jody Wolf Expoz.